Evening, friends. It is time for Wednesday Night D&D Dragon of Icespire Peak. My name is Scott Wiley Hobbit, and I will be your Dungeon Master this evening. We are unbelievably all the way at episode 15. Hard to believe that this game has gone 15 episodes and I've still not been able to kill any character. I mean, everyone has done a nice job of surviving. So, of course, when you're 138th level or whatever, I guess, it's harder for the DM to kill you. So, all right. Um, let's go around the table real quick. We'll start with Rebecca. Go ahead and introduce your character, Rebecca.
Hello, Rebecca. I'm playing Lulu Lee. Uh, Sorry, give me a second. um, Level 3 Kobold Druid.
Level 3, Kobold Druid. Nice. So I'm guessing you've got to catch up a few levels to Ethan. Ethan, tell us a little bit about yourself, and thank you for the sub, sir.
Sure. Hey, everybody, I'm Chris, WikiVA and Discord and Twitch. I play Ethan. I thought I was 129th level, but apparently I'm 138th level. I just leveled up again. So 138th level human diviner. Pretty powerful. He may be your favorite character. He's certainly foreseen that. So he's happy to be here.
I can feel the eyes rolling, especially in that bottom center square there. Yeah. Let's go there. Let's talk to Jacob. Tell us a little bit about your character, sir.
Hey folks, Dave, hey Wilson on social medias. I am playing Jacob Everfleet tonight, an irrepressibly halfling cleric of the god of Brandabaris, halfling trickster.
All right, nice. And last, but certainly not least, we have Stream Kitty and Kayla. Tell us a little bit about Ezralyn.
I'm Kayla, also known as Miss Misery, here on Twitch and Twitter, and I am playing Ezralyn, the half-elf, half-orc fighter. He is usually done with everything, and this is Quinn, who's very sooky.
All right, and as I mentioned, I am Scott, also known as Wiley Hobbit, and I'll be playing everyone else, including Bryphon and Lark. Both of those players have had to exit the game, so I'm going to be piloting Bryphon and Lark until the point in the narrative where I've figured out how to kill them all. Until they part company with the group. So, welcome. Glad to have everybody here. We're going to play some D&D. We're going to play Theater of the Mind, so you're not going to see a lot of technology and minis and maps and all that stuff. We like to leave that to our own imagination and try to get you there by pithy description. When last our group was together, which was last Wednesday, they're in the swamp, the Mere of Dead Men, which legend has it it is vast, whether legend has it or not. It's definitely vast, and it's definitely a swamp. But it's the fallout from a large battle involving a wizard and a number of armies. And the wizard called the sea ashore and flooded the region, killing the armies and flooding castles and keeps and small villages and farmland and the like. And so there's a lot of ruins and death and creatures that you don't necessarily want to bring home to your mom. And they're in the swamp rescuing a young man by the name of Rhodey Ierson, who happens to be the 16-year-old brother of Bryphon and Lulu. They rescued Rhodey, and much to their surprise, Rhodey had a traveling companion with him, none other than Jacob, the halfling. So they rescued the two of them and fought off a drow commando. Apparently this drow strike team was on the surface scouting things out, taking information back to the matron of their house, and a number of drow escaped back down the tunnel. A chimera came and spooked the commando, and the chimera and the commando went up through some sort of an opening in the roof, and the party escaped with their lives. only to be set upon by a little raiding party of lizard folk first thing the following morning. Thankfully, they had their long rest in at least. And it is there that we will pick up our story. The party had just killed 4 of the lizard folk. Jacob was crafty enough with his spell casting to charm a couple of the lizard folk, and when the danger was relieved, the party got on their horses and scampered away. And so you find yourselves, the 6 of you, on one of the trails in the swamp, trying to pick your way back out. And you, by your reckoning, you've probably got, most of a day, maybe one more sleep in here, unless you can press on and get out of here. Most of a day in the swamp as you make your way back in the direction of home, which is Phandalin. And so at that point, I will turn it over to you. Bryphon will be taking up the rear, as she's oft known to do, an excellent elven female ranger with a great eye with a longbow. Let's go ahead and get a little marching order for the group as you pick your way through the Mere of Dead Men. Who would like to lead?
Mm-hmm.
Ezra?
If no one else wants it, I'll take it.
Okay. Who's going to go behind Ezra? I think Lark will probably go right behind you.
Usually, yeah.
Yep. And who would like to go behind Lark? And you
Ethan
all,
will probably.
Ethan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ethan will go behind. Yeah.
And you all are on horseback. Lulu, I presume you're going to be riding with Bryphon. Is that pretty fair? You're going to probably ride in the sack or on her shoulder? Maybe? All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You
Okay. Yes, that's cool.
okay? So we'll put Jacob, then Bryphon, Lulu. Okay, so it's fairly early in the morning. You've made your way away from the site where you battled the lizard folk, and take it away, party.
Lulu, ready? Be home now.
Bryphon kind of pats your
Just a couple hours, we'll be here.
pats your back and smiles, and yep, I'm just glad we found Rudy. But yeah, it'll take us a while to get out of here, but we'll get home.
Sooner we get out of here, the better. This place is dangerous.
And it smells bad. It's very sulfury, egg watery smell. Very misty. There's a thick mist kind of settling in. Normally the mist lifts in the morning. This is kind of rolling in or settling in. And it's not long before Bryphon and Jacob can't even see Ezra at the front of the pack here. It's that dense of a mist. And your cloak, if your hood is up, it's hanging, against your skin, very wet with the heavy mist as you walk or ride, I should say, in silence. It's this part of the swamp is very viney, a lot of trees, very dense. You can't see anything up through the canopy. If you recall, there are places where it almost dries out. Presumably the elevation maybe is a little higher and the trees become more sparse and you can see the sky. But right now you are in a very thick, wet, dense part of the swamp. It's gotten pretty warm, sticky. It's the month of Flame Rule, which is the month that corresponds with July, and so there's bugs. It's just a generally wonderful ride through the swamp.
Ugh.
I'll be keeping an eye out for quicksand again.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. You guys ambled into some quicksand, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ezra probably still smells because of it.
Yeah, no one has smelled good for several days now. You weren't in the swamp more than 2 hours, and it already permeated your clothing, your boots.
I'll look back to Ethan and just say, your dreams tell you anything recently?
Nothing of any importance, I think.
No, six-headed snake come out of the ground to get us?
No, I believe my dreams have been showing me that Phandalin is soon to be the center of evil in this area.
Sounds about right. All right.
Why evil?
I don't know why. All I know is that evil has its eyes set on Phandalin. It surrounds it as we speak.
Well, that's no good. Warn Mama.
Well, we should return quickly.
Rhodey is on the horse with Jacob. He's seated behind Jacob. I meant to mention that. I apologize. And that horse is right in front of Bryphon and Lulu. Roll perception, please, Ezra. And you could do that at disadvantage given the thickness of the mist.
8.
8. Yeah, so it's just hard. I mean, you can see a few feet past the nose of your steed, but it's just so dense in here, and you feel like you're in a just a warm, wet oven. You know, it's heating up, even though it's only maybe mid-morning. You've been on the trail now, just a couple of hours since you encountered the lizard folk, and you're confident that anything further out than 10 feet in front of you would probably surprise you because you just can't see. In fact, you even, to check your sanity, right, you might even turn and look back and you can barely make out the red shock of hair on Rhodey's head as he's perched behind Jacob, and you can't see Bryphon and Lulu.
All right. I'll be trying to keep my hearing as clear as possible.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing the only thing you can really hear is your own heartbeat, and the buzzing of mosquitoes, deer flies, and the occasional slapping of, said mosquitoes and deer flies with your companions, or, shooing them off themselves. And did I mention the smell? It smells bad. Like sulfur bad. And if you, glance down at the foot of your horse just to see what kind of ground you're on, it's pretty spongy, a lot of green vegetation. There are times when the horse is up to its ankle in wet, like you can't see its hooves. You're in, low, shallow standing water. Occasionally you'll see like a snake slither off, or you'll hear something in the canopy above. But other than that, it's kind of what you'd expect from a nasty, dense swamp.
I'll just keep on going. Places like this, but as they're on alert, she wouldn't really be into conversation, just getting
Sure.
out of there.
Yep. Fair enough. And Bryphon is kind of in the same state of affairs. So, Lulu, if you say anything to her, she's probably very slow to respond, if at all, just because she's doing her elf.
Gotcha.
Whenever we get stopped for a break or lunch or a meal or something like that, or even just a quick rest, I want to bring it up to the party about just keep on going out through, right through the night, or we can find another place to camp. But I'll broach the topic if anybody wants to do that. At least until we get out of the swamp and we can camp after that.
I think we should keep going until we get out of here.
Lulu, what do you think? Do you want to get out of here quicker?
Lulu don't like it here. Lulu want to go home.
Okay.
Swamps are not much fun. Better off in the city. Too many bugs here.
It can be. Well, looks like we got a majority, so if you need anything, you don't have to be on a horse for it right now. I suggest doing it, and we'll head out again in a few minutes.
Yeah, you can jump down, take a break. Anybody who wishes to, who's curious or looking around, may roll perception at disadvantage. Oh, and you do have 5 plus 2s. Just to remind you of that.
11 for Ezra.
Okay.
9 for Lulu.
I got a 17.
22 for Jacob.
So anybody above a 15 would notice probably 15 yards to your 2 o'clock. I'm assuming the party's kind of staying nearby. I don't know if anybody's wandering off to, dispatch any coffee or anything like that. But you hear a little, like a snap of a branch and some brush moving. That would be, I think Jacob and Ethan are both above a DC 15 on this. And you look over, and there is a large buck, like a deer, like a mule deer, like a larger type of deer, with a beautiful set of antlers, maybe 15 feet from where the party is. And it's just standing there looking at you.
I'll look back at it, wave at it, and say, "Hi there."
It bolts, and all of you hear the crashing of antlers through brush and branch and the splashity muck. The horses spook just a little bit. They kind of tense up and take a couple steps back away from the direction where the sound's coming from. And this thing just splashes and crashes off through the underbrush.
It's gonna draw some attention. We should probably get moving.
What?
I was going to say, time to go.
Where?
I don't know what you people are so worried about. Jeez. It's a lovely swamp. It's, you can fall and it won't hurt because you'll land in muck. I mean, what more do you want?
That's true.
The mob is
Oh yeah. I'll keep on riding.
Yep.
All right. So you mount up and head out. And it's, we'll say that maybe that was your lunch break. You stop to eat whatever you have handy. I presume you're going to prevent the halfling from breaking out his mobile kitchen and whipping up 6 courses for 196 people or whatever.
That's for Manny.
That's Manny, yeah, right.
I can only do 5. I don't have any gelato.
No gelato, no dry ice, yeah. Nice. So
joke for anyone listening.
Nice inside joke. Yes. Join our server to have more fun and frivolity. Post the link in chat. So you're back on the trail. You're moving through a less spongy, less sloppy, mucky area. You've already got about 1.5 miles, 2 miles under your belt. You recognize a lane headed to the left, which is, basically north, if anybody has any sense of direction at all. Bryphon kind of points it out, says, "Oh, yeah, there's the lane back to that house that we stayed in. Remember that vacant house that was all falling in with the snake? Yeah, it's back there. So we're on the same track. Good job, Ezra." And that's really, for the next couple of hours, about the only interesting thing, other than the fact that, if at all possible, the mist and fog have gotten more dense. Yeah, and if you listen carefully, you can hear the heavy drops of rain on the canopy above you, and occasionally a really wet, chilly, large drop makes its way down and falls on your nose or your face or your head or your shoulder or your horse. And you make out the low rumble of distant thunder. So it sounds like a nice summer thunderstorm is making its way across your area.
I just want to bring up that Ezra has keen mind, so she knows where north is and all that good stuff.
Oh, very good. Yeah. So you know that you're generally wanting to head east of your position along this trail. It was winding north, and then it kind of made its way to the right, to the east. Now it's going a little bit of a southern bend, and then it'll bend back east. You go through patches where it's super dense, and then it kind of dries out. You can almost feel yourself going up maybe 20, 30 feet in elevation, and the ground becomes firmer. The trees are less dense and viney, and then, you get back into that dense swamp. But it's just a long slog. It's hard to make really good time when you're in the wet, soupier areas. And you can obviously go a little more quickly on dry ground.
With the storm rolling in, I'll just message you. Ask anybody if they still want to keep going or if they want to stop. You can ride through the storm if you really need to.
I think getting it. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that Jacob just pipes up. That seems a bit dangerous. Won't we hurt the horses if we ride in this?
Careful, we won't.
I think getting out of this area is the most important thing.
I'm of the same mind.
Lulu agreed.
We'll keep going
Oh,
for now.
Bryphon just chimes in, just don't push the horses if we get back into really wet ground, because it's hard for them to keep their footing in this sort of muck.
We'll keep to the best path I can find.
Oh, so far, so good. All right, well, let's keep going. Lark has been quite quiet, uncharacteristically quiet, since the lizard folk showed up and all.
Have we all noticed this, or is that just something?
What's that?
Have we all noticed that?
Yeah, you would, how she is. If you don't hear her talking, it's definitely noticeable, because she does like to fill the silence with her thoughts, their thoughts.
Lulu will leap forward onto Lark's shoulder.
Okay. You'd have to jump onto a couple of horses, because Jacob and Rhodey are in front of you, and then Ethan is in front of them, but you could scramble up there.
That's fine.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, what? So, Jacob, you have a kobold running over Rhodey, down you, up the horse's neck, and jumping onto the hind quarter of Ethan's horse, over Ethan, and jumping off the front of Ethan's horse onto Lark's back. And she just kind of laughs and pats your back. Hey, Lulu, what brings you here?
Lark quiet. Lark normally not quiet.
Oh, I'm just thinking a lot. It's been quite a trip here. I've never been in a place like this, and I've never seen creatures with lion heads and goat heads and dragon heads and elves that are dark pigmented. And it's just been overwhelming.
Lulu will cock her head a bit. It's normal to be scared.
Well, I don't know. I haven't enjoyed this trip very much. I think I like it better back at the inn.
Lulu always like it better back at the end.
Right?
That's chili.
Has good chili. Lulu's chili is the best chili. She kind of scratches behind your ear. Scritch, scritch, scritch. Start thumping your leg. Thump, thump.
We call it-
Nice. And so you all ride on like this into the evening. And you can tell it's becoming, nighttime. It's been a gray, dark day to begin with, but it's now noticeably actually kind of becoming darker. But good news is the fog that's been so thick all day seems to have moved off, or you've ridden out of it. It's still some mist hanging here and there in the trees, but nothing like the dense fog. Your visibility is back up to, several hundred feet if it's a straight trail. But now it's growing dark. The sun is setting. The thunderstorm has come through and cleared. Thankfully, you were in pretty dense part of the swamp at the heaviest of the rain, and so you didn't really get, just directly pummeled. Nobody, we didn't have any lightning strikes nearby or anything like that, but it was just nerve-wracking and unpleasant at the worst. You would reckon
Do
you've
we
probably.
have any idea?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask if we had any idea how much further we had in this swamp.
Bryphon and Ezralyn would both have been able to kind of, it's about 4+ ish miles from the road to where the ruins of that keep where Rhodey and Jacob were being held. And you've probably come about 3 miles since departing this morning. So you're probably close to a mile away, and it's getting pretty dark.
Everyone's still good. We'll keep going.
I'll feel better once we're out of here.
Very good.
Lark chimes in. Absolutely. I want to get out of here. I want to get as far away from this place as I can.
Warm and dry and full. That's always a nice way to be.
Make a perception check, please, Ezralyn. No more disadvantage. I mean, it's misty here and there, but it's not anything like what it was.
14.
14. Yeah, I'd say probably about 30 feet up the trail. You see a couple of lights bobbing. It looks like somebody's maybe walking in your direction with a lantern. A couple of maybe people that have lanterns or torches. It's hard to say from 30, 40 feet away. The light's kind of dimmish, but it's definitely a light bobbing in your direction.
I'm going to, not going to pull my sword, but I am going to loosen it a little bit.
Okay.
But I'll keep going for now.
Okay. So you're going to keep moving forward?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you continue to move forward, 5 feet, 10 feet. The lights grow a little brighter. There's actually 3 of them. And as you get within about 15 feet, they're fairly bright like lanterns. One's lower to the ground. 2 of them are a little higher. And it's gotten kind of dark, so really it's hard to see what's around the light, which strikes you as weird. And as you get within about 15 feet of them, they go out.
Far away were they? 15?
About 15.
Damn, that's touch. Jacob will cast a light cantrip on an object, like maybe a spoon or something, and toss it as far as I can in that direction. See if there's anything to light up.
Okay. You see shadows, of the tree trunks. You illuminate several large tree trunks. It's a little spongy here. It looks like to the right there's a pool, water to the right, kind of standing water that goes beyond the range of the light. But you don't see anything on the trail or on the path.
Yeah. So it's a 20-foot radius of bright light and an additional 20 feet dim light beyond. So that's a goodly area.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you don't see anything in front of you.
Has it gotten any quieter than when we were entering this region?
It's quite quiet, actually. Yeah.
But we can hear each other, the horses.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
getting quaked out.
Esrelin, what's your armor class?
Oh no.
16.
16? Okay. So you feel a jolting shock as you take 8 electrical damage. And the lights light up all around you. There's 3 of those lights, and they illuminate around you, and they kind of float. And it's just this sort of strange swirling lights are kind of around Ezra. And we're going to roll for initiative if you all wouldn't mind doing that for me.
Oh dear God. You're going into jail. Jacob's going on 6.
Okay, 25 to 20. 20 to 18. I mean, 20 to 15. Still.
17 for Lulu.
Ethan also got a 17.
I think Lulu's probably more dexterous, so I'll put her ahead of you in initiative if that works.
There's a good chance of that.
Probably.
Oh, I got to roll for Bryphon and Lark, don't I? That's a... Okay, what'd you get there, Ezra?
14.
Okay, you're going to go right behind Bryphon. And then, Jacob, you got a 6. Did I hear that
6.
correctly? Okay. Yeah, so you hear a gasp from Lark as this thing manifests, and you hear whatever sound Ezralyn makes when she's suffered electrical damage. And it's going to swirl around you. 16, right? And you take another 3 electrical as it zaps you and it electricals you, it shocks you. Lulu, you're up. There's just this strange ethereal form kind of swirling around Ezra. And Ezra's like, reacting like she's being bitten or burned or something. What would you like to do?
Okay. Lulu's still with Lark, so Lulu will get onto the back of Lark's horse's neck and like growl as menacingly as she can. Her spear's broken. I forgot about that. With her bow at the ready. Is anything visible in our area besides just lights?
It's just the lights, and it's almost like this misty, ethereal. It's non-corporeal. There's no body or flesh.
Okay. Lulu will shoot at the nearest orb of light.
Okay.
Let's see. Well, that's a 10, so.
Yeah, your arrow doesn't even pass through it or hit it. It just goes off into the darkness. Anything else you'd like to do with a bonus action or a movement?
Gosh. How far away am I from Ezralyn?
You are probably about 12 feet from her. Because you're with Ethan. Our Lark is in front of you and Ezra is in front of her. So.
Okay. Lulu will make her way back towards Rhodey.
Okay. Very good. All right, next is Ethan. What would you like to do, Ethan? You've got this non-corporeal, misty form swirling around your companion.
And there's still lights somewhere?
Yes, the lights are like back on. They're just kind of these bulbs, kind of orbs of also non-corporeal, just light. Very strange.
I think what I'm going to do is I am going to cast Mind Spike. It's how far away? It's within 60. The mist.
Oh,
is,
yeah. Yeah.
Surrounding Ezra, so it's
Yep.
pretty close. I'm gonna cast Mind Spike, so I'll be able to reach into the mind of one creature I can see within range.
Nice.
I'm picking the mist as the creature.
Okay.
And the target has to make a wisdom saving throw, which I'm going to use one of my portent rolls and give it a 5
Okay.
save.
Nice.
So it's a DC 13 wisdom save. It rolled a 5.
Okay.
And it would get whatever, if it has any bonuses or whatever, it gets those.
Yeah, it's not going to make it. Good. Well done.
Okay, so it's going to take 3d8 psychic. So
Whew, that's wicked.
What I'm doing here. So it takes 11 psychic damage.
Okay.
And now I know where it is.
Yeah, when this
I
happens,
always know where it is. It can't.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely all
It
surrounding
can't
Ezra,
hidden from me.
and the lights kind of flicker a little bit when you inflict this psychic damage on it. Yeah, great. Anything else? Any movement or bonus action?
So when this started, I was on horseback, I take it. Or were we not on horseback?
Yeah, you're on horseback. Yep. We are.
I think that's all that's all I'm going to do. That's my turn.
Okay.
I can do anything else.
Fair enough. Lark is going to do a thing. She's going to try and cast Toll the Dead, which is Wisdom save. Let me see what her spell DC is. It's a cantrip. Wisdom 12. Oh, man, it fails. Here we go with the darn saving throws again. So it's going to take D12 necrotic, which is 2. And then you hear Lark curse when it doesn't seem to suffer as much damage as she was expecting. She's like, damn, it's resistant. What is it? And then she'll just kind of slowly back her horse up. And Bryphon is going to go, and she'll stand in her saddle. And when she hears Lark curse this thing for being resistant, she unknocks the arrow that she had, and she grabs one of the +1 arrows that were found with the in the drow encampment room, and fires away. Oops, let me get my attack roll up. All right, that is a hit. Oh! She puts one of the lights out, and it shudders and flickers and dims, but there's still a couple of lights going. Ezra, you have this thing all around you. It has like stung you or bitten or shocked you twice. What do you wish to do? She's going to yell also.
I'm trying.
Bryphon is going to yell, use magic.
That's one thing I'm wondering. Is my where I'm Eldritch Knight and I have a weapons bond, does that make my weapon magic?
You're an Eldritch Knight?
Yeah,
And you have
I
a
tried.
weapons.
I thought I read that, but I'm looking it up and I can't find it there now, so I don't know if I am or not.
I would think so. I mean, isn't that the whole point of Eldritchness?
I think so, but
Magical
just
bond,
in
yeah,
case-
yeah. You learn a ritual that creates a magical bond between yourself and one weapon, which would make that weapon magical.
Okay. All right, so that's okay. But just in case, I'm gonna cast Booming Blade on it anyways,
That would do it as well.
and I'm just gonna swipe it at one of the lights.
Very good.
And that's going to be a 24 to hit,
That'll do it.
and that's gonna be 13 points of slashing damage plus.
As you're doing this, you all hear from your right this slurshing, splashing sound as a dark figure wielding a large longsword, very ornate, beautiful sword, comes groaning and whining up out of the pool to your right. How much damage total, Ezra?
17.
17. All right. The lights wink out, and you no longer feel this darkness, this malevolence surrounding you. So you're thinking that maybe you've dispatched it. And to the right of the group, about 15 feet away, rushing you with this sword, is some sort of just another malevolent sort of, it's like a skull. It's in this studded leather ornate armor. It has like skulls on its kneecaps, on its shoulders. It has a quiver with a longbow. And it has this beautiful ornate, almost looks like an elvish bladed long sword. It has white, just stark white hair. It has a skull. It has red where the eyes would be, and it's racing at you. Jacob, you're up.
Do I get the impression that this is an undead?
You would probably sense that, yeah. It has no flesh, no eyes. It's moving towards you at a high rate of speed. Interestingly enough, the longsword
Then
is flaming.
That's good. That's fine.
I will channel divinity to turn undead.
Okay.
That's a DC Wisdom saving throw, DC 13.
Okay, no problem. We saved.
Be a problem. Okay. That's it.
Want that flaming sword.
Right before the sword lit, you heard it hiss, Mog, and the sword went and lit.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything you want to do with like a bonus action or a movement, Jacob?
I don't think I've got much I can do in the way of bonus actions. Yep, 2 weapon fighting. That's it. That's my go.
Okay. Very nice. It is top of the order. So Lulu, you may go. You have this nasty looking thing in full studded mail. It's got the bracers up the arms, spiked. I mean, this thing just looks like death and evil personified, and it has just horrific spitting, hissing coming at you with its flaming sword toward the party. What would you like to do?
Lulu's frill will stand on end like afraid, like a scared cat, momentarily. And she'll quickly notch an arrow and fire.
Okay.
Fuck, 6. That's not gonna do anything.
6 is not going to get us there. But you looked really cool doing it with your little furs and stuff all standing up. It was intense.
Yeah, Lulu's just gonna jump onto Rhodey's shoulder and like doesn't take her eye off of the thing.
Okay.
Just kind of panicking a little bit.
Are you
That's creepy.
Are you still with Lark?
She went back to Rhodey.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So you're with Rhodey and Jacob. Okay. Very good. Ethan, you're up.
How far away is this dude?
It is just about to melee range as it comes towards you all. He's about 15 feet away, so almost within reach, I should say.
Whoa,
not melee.
that's awesome. That's as close as he needs to be.
Oh, he's 17 feet away. Just kidding.
I'm gonna cast Burning Hands at it.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna say my words, move my fingers, spread out my fingers, and flames are gonna shoot out in a 15-foot cone, and he has to make a DC 13 dex save.
Not a problem. Now the saving throws are working.
Half of my.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not well timed. I'm not gonna lie. So he takes half of 3d6, and I rolled like crap. So I rolled 4, so he would take 2 fire damage.
Woo. Nice. He just keeps coming at you.
Describe how I dispatched him. Are you sure I can describe how it went down?
Yeah. Maybe next round. We'll see. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't look well. I just assumed he didn't have many hit points.
Let me check something real quick. Hang on a minute.
Damage to fire.
Okay. Very good. It steps up and comes at Ethan since you damaged it
Oh,
so severely.
Not badly though.
Yeah. Oh, I see. We went from, shall I describe how I dispatch it to, well, it wasn't really that bad.
Yeah.
And he takes a swing with his longsword. His, did I mention it was flaming?
You did mention that.
Okay, it is flaming. I'm guessing a 10 misses.
Yes.
Okay. It's going to take another longsword attack. Well, shiz. Yeah, and it misses again. Whiff, whiff. So Lark is going to rein her horse around and get behind it or beside it to give herself advantage because she's flanking it based on its position in melee with you. And she's going to take a swing. I think she has a pretty nifty mace. Yeah, she's going to swing with her mace. Oh, that's a nat 20. Even when she's not here, she's nat 20ing. So that's 6 plus 2 is 8. Plus another d6 is 13. But she curses again and says, resistance! Because it doesn't just, she knows she just absolutely should have mashed this thing, and it just doesn't connect like she'd like it to. So it takes not as much as she wanted it to. And that will end her turn. Bryphon will stand, and she hears resistance again. Let me see if she's clever enough to... Oh, very clever. So she grabs another magical arrow and fires and hits. Man, Bryphon tearing it up for 11 damage. So she puts an arrow, and it goes all the way into the fletching, into this thing's shoulder. Pierces right under the skull that's capping the thing's shoulder. And it hisses and spits. And this black ichor sprays on you, Ethan, as it curses and spits in some horrific language. Ezra, you're up. You're basically about 10 feet from this thing. It's behind you with Ethan, and Lark is between you and it on her horse.
All right. I'm gonna hop off my horse and hope it stays there. And I am going to hit it really hard with my sword.
Nice.
Again,
Yeah,
casting
you
Booming
can
Blade first.
easily run around and do that.
12 to hit.
That does not find purchase. It smacks off of its, just kind of raises its arm and bats the sword away with it. The bracer looks at you and hisses.
Okay.
Weak mortal. Jacob, you have
Yes, sir.
in front of you, you're the horse behind Ethan, and it's in melee with Ethan right beside Ethan. And Lark has hemmed it in from in front of them, and so it is in front of you. What would you like to do?
So we have exactly one opponent that we can see, correct?
Correct. The 13 others are not yet visible.
I was going to say, let's not imply that there's more.
Well, there were the lights, so I was.
Hang on, let me check Kobold Fight Club and see how this will go.
Well, here's what Jacob's going to do. Having not done too well at turning undead, Jacob is going to cast Bane.
Okay. Refresh my memory.
That
What does
requires
Bane
you to
do?
make a Bane. Up to 3 creatures of your choice, hence why I was asking if there was more than one.
I understand.
I can see within
Right.
range must make charisma saving throws, DC 13. And whenever the target fails the saving throw and makes an attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends, the target must roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from the attack or saving throw.
I rolled a 14,
Ooh, I
so
like the sound of that.
rolled a 14, so I
Hey,
saved.
damn it.
But hey, E for effort.
You're right. Awkwardly, if I'm commandeering the horse or driving the horse or whatever the term is, because Jacob's not really a woodsy guy, they're going to see if they can back that horse up a bit further away from the current action.
Okay. You may do so safely. You're not really engaged in melee, so you're not going to provoke an attack of opportunity. And if you did, you could always just grab Rhodey and use him as a meat shield.
Sure. Okay. We'll go with that.
All right.
I think Lulu might have something to say about it.
Lulu, you are up, little Miss Kobold. You might be muted. Or you might be sleeping.
Not yet.
There you are.
Give it time. Oh gosh, I don't have anything magical. I really like it. I have spells. What am I talking about? Okay. She's going to cast. How injured does the zombie of death look like?
What's that?
How injured does the zombie of death look?
It looks, it's injured, but it's still going strong.
Okay, then she will cast Fairy Fire on it.
Okay.
That's a Dex of 12.
12. That's a 13.
Oh.
Yeah. Nice dice.
How dare you?
How dare I roll well for a change?
Oh.
Anything else?
Lulu will curse in Draconic and resume to protecting Rhodey.
Give me perception, Lulu.
17.
When you heard it say Maog, as it called forth some magics to ignite the blade, you recognize that word in Draconic. It means fire. It's Maugh. And it's Draconic for fire.
I mean, that makes what happened.
Makes really good sense, doesn't it? Yeah. Ethan, you are up.
Ethan is going to pull a twig from his spell component, pouch and begin casting. And as he casts,
Oh, I thought you used the last twig,
starts to.
didn't you?
No, I have more than one twig.
Oh, okay.
It elongates until it becomes a blue energy, and it lashes out
Witch
as
bolt.
witch bolt.
Yeah, nice.
And I'm going to use my final portent roll of today, which is a 20.
Okay, for your to
And
hit.
so I rolled a 20. Yes. So that would be a 25 total. And so I get I get 12 plus the die roll, right? Max damage plus the die roll.
That's what I'm checking right now. Okay. Jeremy Crawford says, the wizard, quote, I use portent. The D20 is rolled. Portent replaces the resulting die. So you rolled a nat 20. I mean, I don't know if Jeremy Crawford is really the guy to ask, but we're going to go with it. That is a nat 20. So it's max dice damage plus any bonuses and then another damage die. Good job.
So I rolled 10. I rolled 10, and so the 12 plus 10 is 536 points of lightning damage.
Or 22, depending on how you look at it.
If you're going to round down, I guess it's 20. I guess it's 22.
Like how you math, Ethan.
So damage immunity, that just means you don't take any damage, right?
Oh, crap.
I'm just curious. I mean, he doesn't have immunity to electricity, but I just wanted to ask. Okay, yeah.
Oh,
So this thing like stiffens, and you see, the little metal studs and the leather. There's like a little arcing between them, and he like lights up like a Christmas tree with this blue crackling energy, and his hair kind of stands up, and he squeals and stiffens and twitches, and then he stands there and lowers his head and stares at you with just absolute malice. Anything else you'd like to do before I have him run you through with his flaming sword?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, he's going to take a big swing at you, and I'm going to hope that a dirty 20 hits you.
It sure does.
It does, doesn't it? I knew it. Okay.
It does.
All right, so let me just get all my dice out here. Hang on. Okay.
So when it says immunity to flaming swords on my character sheet, that means I
Right.
take no damage.
Quadruple damage. Yeah. 9 damage. 6 is flaming, and 3 is slashing. So 6 fire damage, 3 slashing. Second attack.
Ouch.
Does a 16 hit you?
Wait a minute, let me think. It would, but I'm gonna reaction a
Shield. Okay. So that saves you?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably a good thing
It
you did
does.
that. Probably a good thing you did that. Because, life drain and stuff. So, yeah, very good. Okay. So you feel this black necrotic energy start to wash over you, and then your reaction just splays it across like it hits a windshield.
So my witch bolt is a
Yeah, and you just dropped it.
What am I thinking?
Concentration.
Don't I get a roll? Do I get a roll to see if I
I
drop
think
it?
that's when you take damage. Let me check real quick. Let me check.
Because I was thinking about the first attack. The first attack hit me.
That one, yeah, you roll a d20 for that, and you got to roll a 10 or higher.
Okay. I don't drop it because of the shield, do I? Or
That's
do
what I'm wondering.
Maybe I do.
When you cast another
Shield
spell.
concentration.
Oh no, when I cast another concentration spell. Let me see. I don't think it is.
Yeah, it's only when you cast another concentration spell that it drops.
So shield's not concentration.
Okay.
So I get to roll a d20, and I got to roll a 10, and I rolled a 19. Yay!
Okay, so you didn't drop on the hit. Okay. Yeah, it's either casting a spell that requires concentration, taking damage, or being incapacitated or killed. Damage is when you have to roll the DC 10. You just pass that. Shield is non-concentration. And did I kill you?
Not yet, but I foresee it.
Oh, that would have been so cool. Okay. No. All right. It is now Lark's turn. And she's going to curse. And she's going to press her fingers to her temples. And she's just going to get this nasty, kind of grit her teeth. And get this nasty, nasty look of pure anger in her face. And she's going to attempt to cast Toll the Dead. And so he hears this, this clanging, gonging bell and rolls a 4, which I'm thinking is not going to be high enough. And so he's going to take D12 necrotic. And that's an 8. And his head separates in front, and this black ichor sprays from the pressure of the explosion of his head, covers Ezra, Lark, Ethan, and not quite Jacob, as his head explodes and he falls face down into the muck, and the sword falls into the muck with him and sizzles out, and all is quiet. Freaking Toll the Dead is really good. Really good.
Yeah, that is good.
I can go home now.
It is all.
I'm gonna
It
go
is all
quickly
quiet.
grab the sword, see if there's anything interesting about it.
It's
Flare up a detect magic as well. See if there's anything else that's magic.
okay. The studded leather armor is magical. The sword is magical.
I can use that.
How about the gold ring that we found in the keep?
Oh, with the red
Yeah.
stone in it, that is non-magical. How do you like that for DM prep? I remember
Yeah, that's very good.
from like 2 sessions ago. Not too
So
shabby.
whatever's magical, I'm pulling off of it.
Yeah, the sword glows with a great bit of enchantment magic, and so does the leather armor also glows with the that's been enchanted as well. The sword itself is this beautiful. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say the sword itself is this beautiful elven blade. It's it looks like it has just absolutely perfect keen edge. The metal itself has kind of a black cast to it, almost as if it's been superheated. You know how when metal gets overheated, it gets a weird oily black cast to it. It's got this black hard leather wrap around the pommel. It has an onyx set in the pommel, and it has runes all over it. Hey, Gidgewish, thanks for the host. Go ahead. What'd you say there?
I said, so it's super goth?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I guess kind of it is.
And he says studded leather armor? Oh,
Yeah.
Studded leather armor?
Yep.
Okay. Like I said, I'm not taking too good look at it. I'm just tossing it into bags and trying to get back on the road
Okay.
before anything else comes by.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing else is moving. It's just the 6, 7 of you.
Let's get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You ride on. Lark is muttering to herself, trembling, clearly very distraught about everything that's happened. And after another couple of hours of riding, you finally feel yourselves going up in elevation a little bit. The ground firmer beneath the feet of your mounts. The trees less dense, fewer vines. You look up and see a beautiful splay of stars as everything is cleared away, and you are exiting the Mere of Dead Men. At last.
Hooray!
It is behind you. It is dark. As dark gets, by your reckoning, it's probably approaching midnight. And you are at the side of the high road. To the left is Phandalin Well, Neverwinter. You have to go left and then get off the road to go to Phandalin, but home is toward the left.
I'm going to find the closest place to camp.
Okay.
Basically, the safest spot I can find within
Yeah.
like
So
20 minutes.
all along the road is, and I'm going to put the map up of the Phandalin region. It's going to cover. I'll move it to the side here. Whoops. Hang on. There we go. Whoops. Wrong thing. Here it comes. All right, so it's going to be on screen here in a moment. I'm going to put it over the middle and cover a couple people, but it'll be okay. So you're going to be running parallel to the Mere of Dead Men, or you can go northeast off the road. Wouldn't take you long to go maybe a quarter mile just to get away from the swamp and find a dry place to camp.
Cool, works for me. If everybody else is okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Yeah, so it's probably 1:30 in the morning when you stop to make camp.
I'll take first watch.
Okay. Who would like next watch? You watching singly or in pairs?
Doesn't matter to me.
Let's have pairs do it.
Lark offers to take first watch with you.
Okay.
Bryphon offers to take sunrise, which will be in about 5.5 hours. So one more pair in the middle will do it.
Guess I'll do that.
Okay, Rhodey offers to sit with you
Ah, good, a non-combatant. Just what I needed.
with the squishy wizard.
Yes.
He carries a staff. You notice he didn't really jump into combat. He's a little leery. He's got one kind of bum wing from the abuse of the drow. And he's clearly a non-combatant.
Jacob will take middle as well.
Okay. So I presume the rest of the party's going to tip down. Lark and Ezra are going to sit. Let me jump up for just 1 second. Hang on a minute. Okay, sorry about that. It was raining in my window. So Lark sits down and kind of a... She looks over. Do you need to be healed?
I could use it a little bit.
That's actually a good question before we settle down.
Okay.
Who needs healing? Because Jacob can help with that as well.
I was hit by a flaming sword.
Ezra's
look
down
fine.
at that too.
Merely a flesh wound.
Lark will cast a healing word a couple of times on Ezra. Ezra, you can roll 2d4 and add 4 to that for those 2 healing words. And let me know how far you're down. She kind of...
How far are you down?
Are you back to full, Ezra?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, she kind of rubs her hands together and says something in a very, very low voice. In some language you do not recognize. Doesn't sound friendly. Ethan, you recognize it if you hear it. It's infernal. And you're healed. Jacob.
Yep. I can heal myself or anyone else who needs it.
I think Ethan got whomped on pretty good.
How far down are you, Ethan?
Feel like I'm down, I don't know, maybe 9.
All right. Well, I will do double or nothing, cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level, just to make sure. Yeah, of course I roll well then. So you get 13 hit points back.
All right.
And I am going to do a 1st level Cure Wounds on myself because I am down hit points from the lizard folk. And where are we here? 8 plus 3. Oh, sorry. That's actually 15 because I have a plus 3 on the hit point thing.
Okay.
And I pick up 10 hit points for myself.
Very well.
So
Lulu and Bryphon are already snoring, sleeping soundly, curled up together with Rhodey. Ethan and Jacob, you crash, and Ezralyn and Lark are left there in the dark, sitting quietly. Lark is cleaning her mace from when she struck the nasty thing in combat.
What's on the go with you, Lark? You're not right.
I'm leaving.
What?
I'm leaving. I'm going north. I need to get as far away from the swamp as I can.
Really? A person I know that loves death doesn't like the swamp of dead things?
It's not death, it's undeath. It's very unsettling. And I know that I'm called home. And so that's what I mean to do in the morning. I'm going to rest tonight. And I'm going to head north. But I'm really great.
Because you're a very long.
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. She doesn't look. She looks down. Doesn't really return your gaze. You can tell it makes her a little uncomfortable because you're looking right straight through her.
Fine. Do what you gotta do. Might as well just turn her head and go back to watching.
Lark will step out and just kind of walk around camp a little bit, like by around. I mean, literally around, like a perimeter walk, very, very quietly, incredibly quietly, like she vanishes. And then you're sitting there, and all of a sudden she's beside you again, and you're kind of like, "Whoa, wow, that was cool." Your watch goes uneventfully, and you can rouse Ethan and Rhodey, and they can stand their menacing guard duty.
I'm gonna go curl up in my blanket and pass the fuck out.
All right.
This is the watch when you really wouldn't want to mess with this party.
Right here.
This is it.
Yeah, if
Jacob's
anything,
up with it as well.
if anything, you would have wanted to catch the party with the last pair watching, but not this group.
Ethan and his meat shield roadie.
Yeah. Rhodey steps off into the trees, maybe 10, 15 yards into the woods. Roll perception.
Perception.
22 for Jacob.
I got a 12.
Yeah, Jacob, you hear him. He's peeing off in the woods there. He comes back. Thank you for saving us. I feel like this has been an awful lot of trouble for you folks, and I'm sorry.
Well, it certainly wasn't easy, but you're welcome. I'm glad we were able to find you in time.
I'm sure my parents are worried to death, and they'll be relieved.
What were you doing in Waterdeep?
Oh yes, I was apprenticing as an alchemist with a well-known alchemist in Waterdeep.
How did you find Waterdeep?
I just went down the high road.
That's not what I meant. Did you enjoy your stay in Waterdeep?
Oh. That is awesome. I Sorry, man.
Broken the DM. Don't do
Wow.
that. That's not nice.
It's such a big city. It was uncomfortable. It was nerve-wracking. I didn't go out much. And now after all of this, I definitely learned some things about myself. I definitely like being in Phandalin, and I'm really happy to be going home.
Yes. Well, Waterdeep. Waterdeep is an interesting place for sure.
You've been there?
I'm from there.
Oh, really? Oh, it's definitely a very big city, and those huge statues. Have you ever seen one move?
I didn't have a lot of time when I stayed in Waterdeep to see the sights.
Oh. Well, you wouldn't be able to miss it because they're taller than any building in Waterdeep. But I'm glad to
And
be
was
out
your
of there.
training successful? Did you complete your apprenticeship?
Yes. Yes. Master Haventree taught me much about herbal remedies and health potions and the like. And now I can also make the same potions that our family friend, I can't think of her name, up at Umbridge Hill. The same potions, the healing potions that she makes. Why can't I think of her name? But at any rate, I can make those.
Well, that's a useful skill.
Yes.
Phandalin may well find that valuable.
Why do you say that?
I believe Phandalin may be of interest to some who are of the evil persuasion.
What? What do you mean?
I believe evil surrounds Phandalin.
What? No. Phandalin's just a peaceful, small town.
I've foreseen it.
What? What have you foreseen? What do you mean? How do you? What? Tell me more about this. Foreseen. What does that even mean?
I have visions. I've seen it.
You
Evil has interest in Phandalin.
You seem so confident.
I've foreseen it.
Okay. Adabra Gwyn. Oh my God, I can't believe she's been a family friend since before I was born. I can't believe I couldn't think of her name. But she will be pleased, I think, with my skills.
Well, as I said, I think Phandalin will find that valuable.
I hope you're wrong. I hope you saw that differently than it really is, or not right or wrong.
Wrong.
Yes.
That's not likely.
Oh. So you're a good seer then. You see things, they actually happen?
I found you.
Well, I heard you had help. He kind of laughs at you.
Help.
Yeah, that woman at the inn. Bryphon told me. Some elfin woman heard you talking, going on, and she said she saw somebody with red hair.
She helped pinpoint the exact location. But had I not had the vision, I wouldn't have had that conversation that she overheard. You'd still be in the hands of the drow, probably dead.
He kind of goes white when you say that, and he gets real quiet. Well, thank you. If I can ever repay you.
Well, I'm glad for Lulu and Bryphon's sake that we were able to find you.
Yes. And he looks over at them sleeping all curled up. They're wonderful. Although I think the swamp has had an ill effect on Bryphon. doesn't seem herself.
Well, the swamp was unsettling. I'm sure it'll take some time to get
What-
over what we saw there.
What was that you whatever, I don't even know what you did to them, but what were those things that came upon us just now?
I'm not exactly sure what they were. The swamp is known for its undead.
Legend has it there were many buried alive when the swamp was flooded. So I guess that makes sense. Well, we should awaken Bryphon and Lulu. What's that, Jacob? He looks over at you.
It sounds like a terrible way to go. Has Jacob ever heard of will-o-wisps? These things that we
Maybe like wives' tales, stories when he was a wee
was a
hobbit.
match when we fought.
Roll me intelligence.
Well, that's just not going to go well. Yeah, that's a 7.
I mean, you're not sure.
In a fit of nervous energy, Jacob has a small table out and he's shuffling and unshuffling cards and dealing them out and just nervous energying with the deck of cards and sort of keeping half an eye out around, making sure the fire is tended and listening to the conversation that's going on. Also quite subdued.
If y'all want to roll perception for your watch.
Perception.
Cocked.
Ethan got a 17.
14 for Jacob.
Ethan, the only thing really that catches your ear or your eye is you hear a bit of a fluttering and a fussing about in one of the trees, not directly above you, but near where the camp is. And all you can really see up there is something darker than the dark and large and feathered has kind of fluttered into that tree and is poking about. And then it settles, and you hear nothing more.
Well, I'll definitely keep my eye on that.
Okay.
For the rest of the watch.
Your watch definitely passes uneventfully aside from your conversation, and it is time to wake Bryphon and Lulu.
When we wake Bryphon, I'm going to point that out to Bryphon.
Oh, yeah.
Tell her what I saw.
She kind of rubs her eyes and focuses. Oh, yes. There's a big black raven up in that tree. That must be what. It's perched.
Surely a good omen.
Oh, yes. Go rest.
Ethan's going to crash.
Lark is snoring. And by snoring, I mean really snoring. Knowing what you know about them, you're confident that it's Lark and Solana and Jug and the other dude are all snoring together at the same time with Lark.
Okay.
It's like 4 people snoring. Yeah.
It's awful.
Lulu, you and Bryphon are sitting, waiting for the sun to come up. Lulu, did you...
Lulu's doing her best to stay awake.
Okay. Bryphon will ask, did you sleep good, Lulu? Are you tired?
Lulu not sleep well in swamp.
No, I didn't either. I hate the swamp. In fact, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I think I want to just go back. I just want to go back to Phandalin and hunt for Mr. Stonehill and just be at home. I don't want to do this anymore.
That's that sound nice.
It's too scary out here. Plus, if there is a dragon, then I can stay in town and help defend the town.
Lulu goes quiet and she's thinking like it's not often you see Lulu thinking this hard about anything, so it's kind of strange.
After about a half hour of this, she'll look over at you, kind of squint at you. Are you okay? You're awfully quiet. You're never quiet.
Lulu be quiet sometimes.
Only when you're eating or sleeping.
Really?
So your watch passes. Oh, go ahead.
Lulu, happy roadie safe.
Yes, it's good to see him. He doesn't look well, but I'm glad he's safe.
Lulu won't go back too, but Lulu also like adventure.
I know you do. Well, if you want to keep adventuring, you can. I think Mama will trust Ezralyn and Ethan, and Jacob seems very nice. And Lark is good. So I think Mama will be okay with that.
Lulu wants to cook with Jacob.
What do you want?
Wants to cook with Jacob.
She kind of cocks her head and looks at you. I still didn't understand you, Lulu. What do you want?
It wants to cook with Jacob.
Oh, cook with Jacob. Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe he
Jacob's
will
glad he's sleeping.
maybe he will let you or have you help him make breakfast. You should ask him. When he wakes up. Not right now.
I mean, Lulu could ask right now, but
No.
that'd be rude.
Yep, you're right. He needs to sleep. You don't want him to be grumpy.
Maybe Lulu find more cobalt out there.
Could be. Do you think that they will be nice to you? Because you're like not a wild kobold anymore.
Lulu never wild cobalt. Lulu just cobalt.
She
Cobalt just cobalt.
Well, I think that if you meet any kobolds, they're going to be a little different than you are. Because you've been raised in a nice house with a mom and a dad and me. And as you two are talking, the sun slowly rises and comes up. Go ahead.
Tunnels back then weren't all bad. Some cave in, but we'll stay up until they didn't.
Oh, I don't mean to say they're all bad. They're probably just a little less civilized than you are. Like they don't wipe their feet when they come in, and they don't wipe their mouth when they eat, and they probably burp a lot. She kind of laughs. You know how Mama is about that.
Well, if we will meet other kobolds, Lulu want to make sure tunnels built correct.
Well, just be careful when you meet him. Hopefully, if you meet him, you'll be with the rest of the group. Just in case.
Lulu can hold on. Lulu fast.
Lulu's fast. You're right. Wonder if we should start waking
Lulu's hot.
up the others. The sun's been up for a while.
Lulu.
Are you getting hungry?
Lulu always hungry.
Why don't you get a fire going? And if you get a really nice fire going, maybe Jacob will let you help cook breakfast with on the fire.
Oh. Lulu will instantly craft or cast Druidcraft, make the fire go.
Okay. Bryphon will start going around and waking everybody up. It's probably a good hour and a half past sunrise, which enables everyone to get enough rest for a long rest. So go ahead and set your character sheets, and you awaken to a clear, beautiful, almost midsummer morning.
Time for breakfast. Jacob starts getting out his pots and pans and ingredients and table and starts sitting about making a nice breakfast. I see in chat they want bacon, so definitely we'll have bacon. If anyone has sausages, those will get included too. Get some scones or some such on the cook as well. Just mixing and cutting and stirring, and a whirlwind of miniature activities. Breakfast gets prepared for everyone.
The entire time we were doing that, Lulu's just watching intently, just like bouncing up and down a little bit on her hind legs.
Jacob will gesture over and say, come over here and help me. Here's a knife, and we can start chopping up these bits here, and there's some onion that we can put in, and a bit of this and a bit of that. And they're just giving direction around the tiny camp kitchen that he's got, and involving Lulu in the food preparation and making sure that nothing ends up with a finger or something in it. Irrepressibly happy are two words that describe Jacob, especially in the morning, which is really weird from someone who really doesn't like waking up in the morning.
Bryphon comes back from waking everyone up and starts asking, has anybody seen Lark? Where's Lark? Lark's not here.
She's gone.
What?
Oh.
What do you mean she's gone?
She decided she didn't want to work here to do this anymore, so she left.
Okay.
But not say goodbye.
And she had to go in a hurry. If she could have, she would have said goodbye to you. Don't worry.
She was pretty quiet yesterday, Bryphon says.
Yeah, she had things she had to do.
That's too
We'll
bad.
better come back to Phandalin for more chili.
Hopefully she will. But I kind of glance over to Ethan, just kind of give him a look. Say, yeah, no, she fucked off. Or she had to leave.
Bryphon kind of clears. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. She's hoping Ethan gets the hint.
Bryphon kind of clears her throat, looks a little uncomfortable. She says, I think when we get back, I'm gonna stay back in Phandalin and go back to just hunting for the inn and being here to help and just scouting around Phandalin. I don't know if this, she kind of looks back in the direction of the swamp. I don't know if this adventuring is really for me. But I'm really happy you guys found Rhodey. So thank you.
I don't think your service to Phandalin is over yet, Bryphon.
Well,
You must be vigilant.
yeah, that's what I mean. Townmaster Wester has asked me to scout a little bit, so I think maybe I'll do that while I'm hunting. Just kind of nearby. I don't want to go too far. Especially with
Be
this
very vigilant.
stuff about dragons and orcs and things.
There's more than the dragon and the orcs. Evil surrounds Phandalin, and I believe that it is conspiring actively.
Her eyes
That
get
there
really
may
big.
There may well be a saboteur or a traitor in Phandalin.
Mm.
What?
Be vigilant.
What's a saboteur?
Someone who may try to weaken Phandalin's already pathetically weak defenses.
Oh, we're getting those shooting things that the gnomes are making. You don't think it's one of them, do you? She kind of looks around like they're being watched right now. Well, I'll be on my guard. That's why I want to stay.
Who it is, but be vigilant.
Okay. I will. I'm good at that. She wanders over and looks over Jacob's shoulder. Is it ready yet? I'm hungry.
We're getting there. It's almost done.
Okay. Do you need help?
With a little help from our friends. Always, please join in. Get your fingers floury. Mind you don't burn yourself in the oven.
She
I'll
starts.
get down real small though.
she just kind of digs in and starts doing whatever Lulu tells her to do, knowing that that Lulu likes to be the boss of activities and things.
I think while they're getting breakfast ready, Ethan would sit near Ezra, and he would say, "There's many things about the Mirror of Dead Men that have me troubled. However, one thing troubles me deeply, and I think we need to discuss it.
Awesome.
I do not fashion myself a common murderer, and I've been troubled by the way we treated our goblin captives.
Yeah, that was not okay. I crossed some lines and it's bothering me as well.
And you, of all people, I think, know that not every problem that we will encounter will require us to stab it with a sharp stick.
I agree. It's been bothering me since. It's not something I wanted to happen. Definitely could have gone a better way.
I had been, before it happened, I was thinking of a way that I might use the arcane to get our goblin friends to go somewhere else. That would have been, I think, a better outcome.
Yeah. The way that whole thing happened, honestly, I just thought we were going to knock them out and tie them up, but then Lark. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say it because it's been bothering me.
I agree with you. And it's not something that's going to happen again.
This is why I knew we would make good traveling companions. And it is unfolded just as I have foreseen.
I'm sure you have.
Ezra and Ethan, traveling companions. Lark, Bryphon. Ethan and Ezra, though, traveling companions.
We'll end up where they need to go. I'm a little pissed about Lark, though. She's the one that pushed for all this, for us to be a party here.
Well,
And she just goes back on.
I think she's searching for something we can't help her find.
That's the truth. It's a llama.
Plus, I found that tiefling quite disconcerting.
Yeah, I didn't like him either. I like Solana. I'm gonna miss her. Lark. Lark, I didn't know. But
Well,
if they come back, they come back. I won't say no.
well, hopefully they find what they're looking for.
I hope so. But we just gotta keep going on now. We're committed to this whole thing. So we'll do this, finish this, see what we can do to help the dragon, and then reassess, I guess. But for now, I do think we're on the right road.
Agreed. If anything, we apparently gained a baker, and that is never a bad thing, I suppose.
Better than trail rations. I've ate that for a lot of years. But and she's gonna nod over to Brayfin. It's like, it doesn't surprise me she wants to stay home. She's got a good family, good life there. Life like ours aren't always that work that well for, happy home life and all that.
That is certainly true.
Oh well, she will be missed, but I'm glad for her. She got her brother back.
Yes. Hopefully they can protect their town.
Yeah.
And I suppose we should give some thought to the town master's offer of, what did he call it? Contracting us or chartering us, I guess.
Yeah.
Still quite fond of my suggested name, the Looming Eye.
Works for me. It's suggestively mystic and forceful. So.
It's the best of both worlds, really.
Yeah. Me, you, and Lulu are the only ones left that are original, so we'll speak to Lulu when she's when she has things straightened out with her family. I don't know if she's gonna stay or if she's gonna go, but I think she's got the taste for adventuring. You can see it in her eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, let's have that conversation once we get back, and then perhaps we can close the loop with the town master.
Yeah. Considering what this swamp was like, we might increase our prices.
That seems wise. I wonder what that thing with the flaming sword was. Do you know?
No. I don't. The armor and the swords in my saddlebags. Why don't you take a look at it, see if you can... anything.
I'm sure I can tell you exactly what they are, given enough time.
I'll go over and haul my saddlebag down and just hand him off the leather, instead of leather and the sword.
Okay.
And I'll cast Identify on them. I'll do it as a ritual.
Okay. Yeah. The studded leather armor is +1. It's beautiful. The sword is a flame tongue longsword.
Flame tongue.
Yep.
All right.
It does require attunement.
So I'll pass that information on to Ezra.
Flame tongue requires a command word. And it bursts into flames. It gives a 40-foot radius of bright light and an additional 40 feet of dim light. When the sword is ablaze, it does an extra 2d6 fire damage. It just takes a bonus action to speak the command word and ignite it, and then you can sheath it and it'll go out, or you can speak the command word again and it'll go out.
That's a nice sword.
Yep. Be handy to have around.
My chainmail is all right. Does anybody need it? Need the other armor? Now we can sell it, or I can take it if nobody else wants it. It's everything I have is servable.
I certainly don't need it.
And you
I
would be able to
wouldn't.
carry it.
I wouldn't know what to do with it if you handed it to me.
I'm surprised you can lift it now, let alone wear it.
Well, I've lifted a lot of heavy books in my day.
I guess.
Wiley, a point of order question for you. Does magic armor resize to fit its wearer?
We'll say in this case that it will.
Okay. The only reason I ask is that Jacob wears studded leather armor. As a matter of point, but it's part of treasure, so determine what you will. I assume the skulls don't come with the armor, or do they?
They were, part of the whole. You could easily remove them. But that's how this thing had its armor adorned. If you're concerned about your joints, you could get some leather pieces fashioned, and there's an outfitter in town. You could get some leather pieces fashioned to cover your knees and your shoulders if you don't like the look of the skulls.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit the trickster cleric motif.
Not the vibe you're looking for, huh?
No, maybe lemons.
Fair enough.
Anyway, as said, I will not make any assumptions. Ethan and Ezralyn are having a private conversation, so.
Okay. Yeah.
Breakfast. You see plates set out and tea and cutlery and what have you for the whole group. Some pancakes, some scones, bacon, fried onion, all kinds of good stuff. No eggs, don't have any, sorry. And a nice large breakfast is had by all.
Nice.
And if you didn't know better, you can almost swear that second breakfasts were being planned.
He's already scheming. Yeah. Like I said, it's a beautiful morning. The horses are content. You feel like you're in a nice, safe place for your, the remainder of your stay, your meal. Just a beautiful summer morning. The date happens to be 23 flame roll.
23. Well, I suggest we get Rhodey back to Phandalin. Before deciding our next step.
Okay. So you can tidy up from breakfast and easily get on the road. Not a problem.
Did you say that that sword was a long sword or a great sword?
That's a longsword. All right, so you make your way northward, kind of actually northwest is the direction the road is going. The swamp is on your left, and it's a good hour before you finally ride away from the swamp. You have a choice. You can follow the high road full north and then take a right on the trade road that runs over to Fandolin Way, or you can cut across and return the same way you came, which was skirting along the edge of the mountains through the grasslands straight back to Fandolin. It would probably save you several hours to do that. There is a small town, Leyland, just north of where you turn off to go into the grasslands. Bryphon will be able to tell you that it's being re-inhabited, much like Fandolin, only it's a couple of probably 3 or 4 years behind Fandolin. Like they're just now starting to re-inhabit. They've started to build a wall because it sits right on the high road just north of the swamp. It's mostly Neverwinterians, people from Neverwinter. It's under the paid protection of the city of Neverwinter, but there isn't much there. It's probably half the size of Fandolin.
I think going back the way we came is probably the best way, quickest way.
It's a beautiful day. You don't see any issues with weather coming through. Hardly any clouds in the sky. You know that it'll take you most of the day to get to Fandolin from the road, several hours. So is that the way you're going to just cut through the grasslands, kind of keep the mountains to your northeast, which is your right side, and come into Fandolin from the southwest?
I think so.
Plans.
Me. They'll know the way anyways, so.
Okay, so you take your leave off the road and cut across the grasslands, and to spare you the agony of several hours of riding through grass with nothing happening, I'm gonna just tell you that you make it back to Fandolin without any issues, aside from a couple of small herds of deer and spooking up some birds here and there from the grasses. Nothing, no issues. And you find yourselves not too far before supper time, trotting into Fandolin proper. Bryphon says she's going to take Rhodey home. Go ahead.
I like to imagine on the way back, Lulu was, in as much description as she can muster in common, describing her chili to Jacob.
Listens with rapt fascination. Rapt. Exchanging ideas about what the chili is like, what kind of ingredients there are.
So spicy.
Bacon.
Bryphon definitely chimes in about how much she likes Lulu's chili and what a big hit it is at the Stonehill Tavern and Inn. It's a menu favorite.
Oh, I'll try some when we get there.
Lulu make fresh pot.
Sounds delicious.
Okay, so Bryphon offers to take Rhodey to the house. Rhodey's obviously very anxious to get home. Where would the party like to go?
Lulu's going back home with Bryphon and Rudy.
Very well. Where would the three of you like to go?
To the inn first.
To the inn? Okay.
I want to shower.
I think that's where Ethan would go.
Okay.
Swamp off of me.
Yeah, good. So you find your way back to the Stonehill Inn. And you find it as you left it. Is it Toblin? Yeah, Toblin Stonehill is there. And his staff. And he smiles when he sees Ezra. Oh, you made it back. Did you find the boy?
He's home safe with his family.
Oh, that's such a relief. Thank you so much. Bryphon and Lulu must be thrilled.
They're home with him now. There's no words for it. I would assume.
Ah,
Uh, do you have? I'm just gonna raise up and like. Then it becomes obvious just how crusty I am.
yeah, he immediately like steps back. Oh,
Bath.
where have you been?
This the Mire of Dead Men.
I pull
I
him
can't remember the
about.
name. I'm so sorry.
The Mirror of Dead Men. Is that where you found him?
Yeah, deep in there.
Oh, yes, a bath right away. In fact, I'll set up a extra large metal trough for you in the stable. And he kind of snaps his fingers, and a couple of his younger serving staff come, and he just, just give it.
I'll point to the two behind me too. It's like, yeah, you're gonna need a lot of water.
Oh, right. And he looks, Ethan, you've made it back. You look no worse for the wear. Well, I hadn't foreseen whether or not you'd be back. And he kind of smiles.
Ah. I see what you did there.
You see what I did? What?
I
Oh,
foresee what you did there.
yes. You knew it was coming. Yes.
Indeed.
And this fine halfling, and he kind of leans down. Who might you be? I am Toblin Stonehill.
I'm Jacob Brandebaris. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior Brandebaris? Jacob Brandebaris. I'm Jacob Everfleet. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior Brandebaris?
Well, Jacob Everfleet, well met. And he shakes your hand. I'm Toblin Stonehill. This is my establishment, and I can't say that I have. You'll have to tell me all about this Brandebaris. What is it?
At that point, Jacob will launch into the longest sales pitch for a faith and describe in painstaking detail of how delightful Brandebaris is and the green meadows and the afterlife and everything else that's good about halfling belief. And will not stop talking even if he is dragged off to a large vat of very warm water to bathe in. He wasn't sure that there was going to be a group bath in this anyway.
They will lead you to the stables, and inside 3 empty stalls, inside of each stall, there is a large trough of steaming hot water for your bathing pleasure. And he thanks you profusely for your proselytization of the faith of Brandebaris. Brandobras.
Brandebaris.
Yeah, that. Do you need an ale, perhaps? Or
Yes.
wine or something to relax by?
Wine.
Wine for you? I know what you want, Ezra. It'll be waiting for you. Ethan, wine, I presume?
Yes.
Very well.
I don't know that I need it, but
Want it very badly.
yes.
Yes, very well.
Yes.
It will be on the house, as will your rooms for the rest of the week. I presume you'll be here that long at least to savor your success and your victory over death or captivity. Where did you come from, little man?
Well, that's a long story. There was Papa Everfleet and Mama Everfleet.
No.
And,
Where did they find you? How
oh,
did you find them?
It's slightly embarrassing. I seem to have been in the same place as the young lad, they say. It was. You get stuck by drow and they're poisoned. They're really quite unpleasant. But
His eyes get really big. Did you? He leans in, not wanting to alarm the other patrons. Did you say drow?
drow, yes.
Dark elves?
Dark elves, white hair, use a lot of poison. Really
Oh
don't like
my! And you bested these dark elves and escaped?
But I was tied up. This lot did the besting.
The others, yes, Lulu and Bryphon and Ethan and Ezra. Wait. Where is Solana? Did she go? Didn't she go with you? And that quiet one that used to disappear at night, never get a room. I haven't seen him around either. Did something bad happen? Should I call the?
Just decide to go their own
Should
way.
I call the bard? Do we need a ballad in their name? The Strange One of Fandelver, I think, would be a nice name for a song about the Quiet One.
They live, as far as I know. They've decided to go their own path.
Oh, so they're okay. Nothing untoward happened to them on your journey.
As far as I know.
Very well. Okay, well, your baths are ready. Your beverages are ready. Go, please, go relax. When you come back, we'll feed you, and you'll have to tell us your tale. Shall I fetch the town master?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Enjoy your
See if he actually leaves the house.
bath.
Yes, he does seem to have a predilection for not leaving the house. Sorry, just saying that as someone who's watched the past episodes.
Okay. So a couple of the staff lead you out to the stables, none too close to you. And you, sure enough, you see 3 great metal troughs, usually used for watering horses. And they are full with hot steaming water. Each is in its own stall with a door, where a horse might ordinarily be. There's not much action in the stables right now. And so each of you has your own private ish bathing space. No one can see you, but obviously the top is open above the stall walls.
And Jacob will be having a bath and also doing his laundry at the same time. Because I'm quite sure that his clothing isn't as much of a mess as he is.
Ezra's in and out as quickly as possible.
Okay. While you all are
Just
bathing,
luxuriating.
roll me perception.
Perception.
As
17 for Ezra.
3 ghouls rise from each tub. Fangs
That's my
bare. No, I'm
sword.
just kidding. Yeah.
Those are my ghoul friends.
Yeah.
Um,
See what you did
yeah,
there.
so I had 21 for Jacob.
I got a 13.
Okay. So as you're bathing, each of you overhear a couple of the stablemen in there talking. And they're like, hey, did you all hear the dragon was sighted again? While the heroes were gone. And the other one's kind of like, heroes? I mean, I haven't seen any hero. I don't know. Well, anyway, out near Coneyberry, east of here along the Tribor Trail, he was sighted yesterday. Remember Coneyberry, that town that was... Remember the barbarians came and sacked it all those years ago? Remember? And rumor has it that there's this temple where all the locals hid their gold. And the other guy's like, oh, you don't believe that, do you? That's an old wives' tale. If they'd hid a gold in that temple near Coneyberry, it would have been taken long ago. And the other guy's like, I don't know. I heard, I have it on pretty good authority that supposedly that gold's never been found. But that's where they found that's where the dragon was sighted. There was a caravan coming from Tribor, and the dragon kind of swooped down over them, but they were able to get off the road and get shelter, and it grew weary of the sport and left. At least that's the rumor. And you hear the voices kind of recede as they exit the stable.
Here I was going to try out a new spell. Oh well.
You can try out a spell.
Yeah, they're gone now. It's
Ah.
okay. They might not like it anyway.
So you guys have your baths. Ezra, you're in and out of there pretty quick, you said?
Mm-hmm.
There is a very, very cold tankard to the absolute rim with a fresh ale. Like surface tension is the only thing keeping the ale from running down the sides of the, it's just above the brim, the head on the ale. Jacob and Ethan, you each have a nice crystal goblet of wine on a small tray, on a small footstool near the tub. Jacob, you'll probably have to stand in your tub in order to be able to reach the wine. But Ethan, you can lay comfortably in your tub and reach over and get your wine.
Sounds good.
Jacob just on his back, floating and burbling and having a good time, and bathing and doing
As-
laundry.
As halflings will do.
Oh yes.
Okay. So Ezra, you going to head back into the tap room or up to your room or?
She's gonna go clean her armor. So she'll be up in her room for a little while.
Okay. What of
I
the
can go
other?
down the tap room after that.
Okay. What about Ethan and Jacob? How long will you be bathing?
So Ethan would not linger too long, and when he was done, he would go back into the tap room and
Okay.
find his usual seat.
Yeah.
And take out his book and start looking through his book.
The tap room is abuzz with interest, activity, energy, fairly full. And when Ethan enters, he's the first to enter the tap room. You see a lot of people like point, oh, there's one of them right there. And there's this buzz. And the town master is at the bar talking with Toblin Stonehill. And as you enter, and they all see you're here, they stand up and they start clapping. There's a hero! Saved old Rhodey! They're all, woo! Yes, you may have foreseen this coming, but
Yeah. So he's not surprised, but he would ignore that and just go to his seat and look through his book.
okay. They're all like, yay! Oh, okay. Kind of thing. And Tobler and Harbin Wester come to your table. Jacob, what are you doing?
Jacob will be luxuriating in this water until it gets to about sort of just before the lukewarm stage, and then get out, towel off, put on some fresh clothes, and start looking for something to eat, probably in the inn, and figure out where his room is.
Okay. Yeah, you go in. You go into the inn, and much the same description. The crowd is in there drinking away, and they're all kind of looking over at Ethan. And you see Ethan sitting over there in conversation with the proprietor and another fellow that you've never seen before. Yeah. So you're going to go over there?
Go over with Ethan, set down my goblet of wine, and just take up my deck of cards and start dealing them out. Like I have 3 other people to play a game of cards with, but don't, and see if anyone picks up the hint that maybe they might be invited to a game.
Yeah.
Put a little silver on the table at the same time.
Toblin and the other gentleman stand when you come, and Toblin bows. Yes, my halfling friend Jacob, I believe, correct? I'd like to introduce you to Townmaster Harbin Wester. He's Townmaster, and he has a reward for your group for the safe return of Rhodey Ireson. And Wester kind of looks you up and down, and as only an elected official could. Hello. Yes, good Jacob. Thank you so much for helping with the rescue of Rhodey Ireson. Very well. Do you play cards, I take it? And they sit back down.
You could sit down and join me.
Of course. And he pulls out some silver and puts it on the table, and Tobler stands. Oh, none for me. And he kind of looks at Wester in this kind of cold exchange between them. Like maybe Wester's taken a little money from Toblin over the years. And he says, I'll tell you what, I'm going to get some food together. Will Ezra be joining shortly? Where's Lulu? Bryphon? Did they go home with Rhodey?
They're at home with Rhodey.
Right. Very well. Makes sense. Will Ezra be joining you?
Ezra comes downstairs.
Oh, nicely timed. Yes, and there she is. And Harbin Wester stands and offers his hand. Oh, good to see you. Yes, well then, very well. Yes, I'll leave you to it. And he just sits back down, and Toblin asks, what would you like to have for dinner this evening? Everything, it's on the house. Heroes eat free.
Jacob will put in an unreasonably large order for a halfling of his size. Charcuterie, some cheese, some sausage, stew, bread, more wine, some small beer to wash it all down.
Toblin's pretty soon he has to pull out a piece of paper and his quill. He has to take notes because there's so much. Yes, very well. Anything for the rest of you, or was this for all of you?
Yeah, whatever the rest of them want to, yeah, sure.
Oh,
Someone else is
Roast and
talking.
bacon.
Oh,
for
right.
me.
bacon, yes, of course. And he smiles at Ezra. You could tell he's grown rather fond of you. Not in a weird, creepy way, just he's always happy to see you and glad you're here. I think he feels safe and comforted by your calming, badassery type presence. Yes, your calming gloom. Your gloaming calmness, yes. And you there, boy. He looks at Ethan.
I'll have whatever you're serving tonight, whatever the special is.
Very well, very well. We have pheasant and we have roast lamb. We've prepared we were ready to have a feast upon your return, and as you can see, the place is abuzz, and everyone is excited to hear your tales, and so I'll go prepare your food. And he scuttles off and leaves you at the table with Harbin Wester. So tell me, what sort of shape did you find the boy in?
We found him in the shape that I had foreseen.
Oh, let me see. That was an injured arm, if I'm not mistaken. Yes?
Cut on his head.
Yeah, oh, yes, right. So he had a cut on his head and an injured arm then.
Indeed.
Well, how about that? That's pretty remarkable that you're able to see this. And he kind of looks around like, and as you're talking and that, someone breaks out a fiddle and another one breaks out a little, like a whistle, like a penny whistle sort of thing. And before you know it, there's dancing and a little bit of music going on kind of over in the corner. There are a few halflings, a couple of dwarves, some people you've seen in here before. The elf that Solana had befriended is having a glass of wine. She has a little book and appears to be maybe taking notes or writing. But it's as packed in here as you've ever seen it, and it's quite festive. So it appears then that I owe you some coin for your heroic deed. And he pulls out a large purse, like a small sack almost, and it goes chunk on the table. 100, and he kind of leans in, 100 gold, if I'm not mistaken, correct? That's correct.
Yes.
Well,
Our accountant would have known that.
yes. Tobler tells me you and he looks around. No need to whisper. There's no way anybody's going to pick up what he's saying. But Tobler tells me you encountered some dark elves. Is this true?
Yes.
How far away? What were they doing?
In the Mirror of Dead Men.
The Mirror of Dead Men. That's
When
not.
I saw them, they were dying.
His eyes kind of get big. By your hands?
Yes.
Wow. You. I mean, that's quite something. Don't you think?
Well, it was better than the alternative, I suppose.
How many of them were there? Why were there drow? Don't drow live far underground in caverns and places dark and evil and things? That I've never met a dark elf, but
Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you.
yes, please.
We didn't strike up an elaborate conversation with them.
Oh, of course, but so you have no idea why they were there. Where were they? And you say in the swamp, and it was a particular location? It was a cave or something?
It's in the ruins of an old keep.
Yes, so the rumors are true then. It's rumored there are many old castles and ruins and homes and... Nasty place then, this Mirror of Dead Men?
It was not a place I'm looking forward to going back to anytime soon.
Yes, of course. See, what, and Toblin comes up and starts, and he's got like 3 servers with him, and they start setting plates down, mostly around in front of Jacob. There's a plate with biscuits, there's a crock of butter, there's a jar of honey with the cool looking stick with the honey drippy thing on it. There is sliced roast lamb. There's 2 pheasants. There's some greens in a bowl that seem to have some sort of they're like wilted and they have vinegar on them. There are cooked potatoes and carrots, and there is some sort of grits or polenta looking substance. There's a hard cheese. There's some dried sausages, all laid out in front of you. There's a carafe of wine and a large tankard of beer with fresh glasses, one of which is like got ice on it, and that's set in front of Ezralyn because she likes her mugs very, very cold. And in a twinkling, they're gone. So, well then, dark elves. You say, and dark elves. He looks at Jacob. Where do you factor into all of this? Did you meet them on the road or something? I don't.
Jacob's mouth is full, and he says, "Well, I was working swallows. I was on the road, and I ran into this young lad named Brody, and we were having a very nice spot of tea and some scones, and we were actually having a very conversation about finding out where each other had come from."
You were having scones and tea on the road? Who does that? You were literally having scones and tea on the road. But isn't it a danger out there?
Danger? Well, I suppose we were caught by drow.
Oh, this is
But,
when
could
the
be worse.
drow.
Life,
Oh, very
tea.
well. Yes. Okay. Lesson learned then, I'm sure. Yes, okay. He kind of strokes he's got about 4 days growth, which seems odd to Ethan and Ezra having seen him. He's always been, hair tidy and slicked back, very nice trousers and fine, linen shirt. And he looks a little frumpier than normal. His hair isn't quite perfect, and he's not shaved in a few days. His eyes seem a little bloodshot. Not the normal, well put together, polished Harbin Wester you're accustomed to. So, what else then? You were gone for, let's see, 4 days by my count. I think that's right. Let me look here. 23, 3 days. 3 days you were gone. Yes. So what else? Anything else along the way or in the swamp that you had to contend with? I only ask because it's important for me as the town master, and he kind of looks around to see if anybody hears him say it, to be well aware of any threat. You don't think these drow will come here, do you?
Well, if
It seems likely. This is a nice place.
If the Mirror of Dead Men decided to empty out and come to Phandalin, there would be not much you could do about it.
Oh, well, you don't think that would happen, do you? I mean, what would anyone want with our humble little... Hey, one of those launcher things has been erected, and I've seen it work. Those 2 gnomes, quite crafty. You'll have to see it tomorrow.
As I recall, we've seen one in action before.
Yeah, they hurt.
Oh, right. Indeed you have, yes. Oh, how unfortunate. Well, it is quite a marvel. I just never tire of those gnomes and their inventiveness. Yes, clever they are, yes. So what will you do now?
Jacob pipes up with a mouthful of pheasant, sort of talking with his mouth full again. So, has there been another sighting of the dragon again?
Oh, and the color kind of runs out of his face. Yes, of course, yes. I have news for you. The dragon was seen again, I believe 2 days ago, in Coneybury, east of here on the Tribord Trail. It's a bit of a ride. It's a small settlement. Gosh, it's been mostly empty for some time. Some barbarians had sacked it long ago, but yes, he was apparently dive bombing a caravan, and they managed to seek shelter, and he finally went away, or she, I don't know which, but yes, so a little too close for comfort for my liking. I wasn't even comfortable coming here tonight.
What was the dragon bombing the caravan with?
is flying, trying to attack it and, put spitting ice and things on it, as dragons will.
Spitting ice.
Ice and frost and...
Chromatic? Metallic?
So Coneyberry is about 55 miles east on the east of here on the Tribord Trail. I'm sorry, chromatic? No, the dragon is white. Everyone who's seen it, including myself, I saw it myself as it swooped in over town and stole a sheep from a local farm. Yes, quite the harrowing experience. It's white.
Sounds like it was hungry. Speaking of hungry.
Goes back to eating.
Yes.
Yes, so just a couple of days ago it was sighted just a mere 50 miles east of here. The thing covers quite a bit of ground, I guess as dragons will.
Seen anything else around Fandolin?
No, nothing.
Creatures,
Quiet.
gnolls?
Knolls, no knolls. Very quiet. The scouts have been in this morning, the two that you helped, and they've seen nothing. I will say,
Well,
I feel better with you here. I'm glad you're back.
well, I suppose your question was, what is our next move?
Yes,
And that is
yes.
something-
Because I do have a bit of a thing I could maybe use some help with. If you're interested. It pays. In fact, it pays rather well, and it should be a fairly insignificant, really little thing, but not far from here to the northeast, maybe, oh golly, 1 day's ride or less. Well, Don John Raskin needs escorted up to the Mountain's Toe gold mine. The company that owns the mine insists that their man be escorted there. Of course, Raskin himself and the town master kind of nods and looks over, and you see a rather large, dark-skinned gentleman, dark, wiry beard, bushy, kind of thick, dark hair, and he's human, kind of gives you the sense of lumberjack, hardcore rustler guy, kind of holding court with some prospectory-looking people over in the corner. That's him over there. That's Raskin there. He needs escorted out to the Mountain's Toe. It's a gold mine. It's had its troubles over the years, but the dwarves out there are generally a good lot. And he's the new overseer, the new foreman out there. And the company would like him escorted, and they're willing to pay a party 100 gold to do the escorting. It's a day's ride. Should be no problem. Ride up, get him there, get back. Probably could be the easiest 100 gold you'll earn. Yeah. So, think it over. Obviously, we don't have to do anything tonight. He's ready to go in the next couple of days. I'll tell you, it took me quite some arguing and insisting that he wait for you to come back, because he was quite convinced he could venture up there himself. But the company insisted that I not let him leave until I had suitable escort arranged.
Well, I think we can discuss that. That's something we can probably handle. We want to give Lulu some time with her family.
Oh, of course.
But that's probably something we can handle.
I've been doing for 20 years, so yeah.
He kind of smiles at Ezra. Where you have friends missing? Where's what is her, Silana, right? And the quiet one. Where are they? Did they not make it back from the swamp?
They've decided they're both alive. They decided to go their own way.
Ah, well, I see. Well, they're lost. I hope you'll still be able to do some work for us here with just the four. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Lulu, Brett, 5 of you. Yes.
4, probably. We don't know.
Oh, Who else?
They may choose to stay home. We'll find out.
Oh, Bryphon and Lulu, of course. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that would make sense with Rhodey having been gone. And well, we'll just see what they come up with. But yes, so there's some work for you if you're interested. But take your time. We don't have to fuss about that right now. But I just wanted to let you know that you have top choice before anyone else would get the job. And I've arranged for your room and board to be covered for the remainder of the week here at the Stonehill as a thank you for all you've done for Fendelin.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that bed.
Yes, can only imagine. You have tangled with Drow and lived to tell about it. That's not a story many can tell. That is impressive. I raise my glass to you, and he picks up his large. It looks like you don't see any other goblets as large or as ornate as his. Your sense is maybe he brought it with him. And he lifts his townmaster's goblet. Here, here. Two heroes and good fortune.
Huzzah.
Then I'll drink to that.
Very well. Well, perhaps I should take my leave so that you might rest. And perhaps sometime on the morrow you could come by the Townmaster Hall and we could talk more about the work and other things and your plan for the dragon. Yes. He kind of stands up and shakes the folds and creases out of his fine linen that's horribly wrinkled and looks bad. Well then, Master Jacob, good to meet you and good to see you both. I'm glad you were successful in finding the boy.
We'll stop by and speak with you tomorrow.
Very well, I look forward to it. Hope you'll take me up on the work. And he steps away and he works the room. And he does stop over by Raskin's table and talks with him. And then he looks over in your direction and nods in your direction. You can see him kind of looking at you guys like, really? Giving you the once over. Like, you want to send me out into the... Like, you wouldn't let me go by myself, but you wanted me to wait for that. Kind of look. And you think to yourselves, well, that's probably not going to improve any with the addition of Lulu and Bryphon. So, all right. Well, I think that's a good spot to end our session this evening. You managed to deliver your rescued lad and collect your reward. So somebody's got you have a sack of 100 gold on your table. So let's go around and do a quick outro, and then we'll send this off on a raid. Ethan, why don't you tell us a little bit about where we can find you and all the amazing things you're up to out there on the internet?
Yes. So I'm Chris, WikiVA on Discord and Twitch. My Twitter handle is below. If you want to see me play D&D, this is the only place you can see it, right here on Wednesdays. Otherwise, that's all I'm up to. And that's all the exciting things I have going in my life.
I think that's all of you the internet can take.
I think so. I think that's probably true.
Nice. All right. Very good. Very good. Jacob.
Hey, Wilson on the internet, Discord, Twitch, Twitter, probably also Facebook, but it's been a while. This is it's one channel that I'm streaming live on with Wiley. I also play on a Monday evening show as well, and I'm really enjoying this. Jacob is a trickster cleric and having a bit of fun. I've been a little bit punky today because it's been a long day, so he hasn't been quite as tricksy as maybe he should be, but it's been fun catching up and meeting everyone, and I've really enjoyed it and look forward to next week. Thank you very much.
Very well. All right, Ezra, Ms. Misery, what are you up to these days?
This is it. Actually here Wednesday nights. My Twitch is below. My Twitter is the same handle, just with an underscore in the end, and I'm active in the Discord, and that's it.
All right, and speaking of Discords, I will drop the link to our Discord for anybody out there that's looking for a cool place to hang out between games and chatting and so forth. We got about 70 people in our little community now, and it's pretty chill. We'd love to have you there. I'm gonna see. I've been prodding Rebecca on Zoom. She wasn't feeling well, so she may have already kind of checked out. But I'll tread water for a couple minutes, see if she pops back on. I'm Scott Wiley Hobbit. We play D&D here, of course, Wednesdays at 7. We play Pathfinder First Edition, the Crunchy Edition, on Sundays at 1 p.m., and that game is set in Greyhawk. We just sailed to the Hold of the Sea Princes to check out some strange happenings along the River Hool. And so that's going on Sundays at 1. And then Monday nights, Dave is in that game as well on Mondays. The Mysteries in the Dalelands game runs. And we play at 7:30, and that one is also set in Faerun, except it's well east over in the Dalelands. So I think Rebecca's here. She can pop on and sign off. Rebecca, are you out there?
I'm here.
Hey.
I'm really active here, so I'm sleepy.
Sleepy Rebecca. Yeah, so Rebecca plays here every Wednesday, and you can chew on her a little bit in the Discord too if you hang out in there. So certainly love to have everybody join me in raiding my friend Jay over at Lord Gazumba. One of my favorite settings in all of D&D, because it's where I started, is Greyhawk, and Jay runs a game that has been running over 40 years, the same campaign and the same bunch of folks.